Ladies, ladies and gentlemen, how would you feel if you were a hater and you hating on the greatest player of all time or one of the greatest player of all time? And I am speaking about Larry Bird. So, of course, it's been a while since I reacted to Prime Larry Bird's video. This video is the best Larry Bird versus jealous hater story ever told. So, without further ado, let's jump right in.
He's overrated. He ain't the best player in the NBA. Not to me. He's white. That's the reason he gets the MVP award. Dennis Rodman said this about Larry Bird in the 80s, and over the last few decades, he became the biggest Larry Bird hater on the planet. Because when three-time NBA All-Star Gilbert Arenas said that Larry Bird would beat LeBron James one-on-one, it should have been a non-issue.
He was built more of a one. Larry Bird would probably beat LeBron one-on-one.
Really? Larry Bird would beat LeBron
One-on-
James.
This is the smartest thing I've ever heard him say. Because recently in these last couple reactions, especially the previous one, but he was trash talking the 80s, right? And then he was talking about, oh, when KD finishes KD's career is gonna be better than LeBron, not LeBron James, Kevin Durant. No, damn it. He said Kevin Durant, when he finishes career, Kevin Durant's career is gonna be better than Larry Bird's. That's what I meant to say. Well, brain fart. So him saying that Larry Bird will beat LeBron one-on-one, yes, facts. Larry Bird beating Kevin Durant one-on-one, facts. Him saying that,
One-on-one.
Because one-on-one, it takes away from everything LeBron has, right? His physical strength, his speed, and one-on-one, you're talking about 1-2 dribbles. That's not his
corners. And
that's not his game.
Yeah.
That's Larry's whole game.
Well, duh. When Larry Bird was in his prime, he averaged more points, more rebounds, more assists, and had a higher field goal percentage than LeBron. So if you ask any expert, what was Larry Bird better at?
hold on. I gotta go back. I gotta look at these numbers. Damn, look at these numbers. I got a question. He's not known for being the best shooter, LeBron James, right? You see the 48.8, over like 49%. I think it's lower. This right here. I think it should be around 44, 45%, or a little lower. But I don't know what these stats are. These are field goal percentage. They're almost the same right here, just about the same. We already know Larry Bird's a better rebounder and a better scorer. But for me, I think that 48.8 is lower for LeBron, just based on everything. His shooting is not the best, but attacking the basket and dunking, of course, that's his specialty.
Their field goal percentage than LeBron. So if you ask any expert, what was Larry Bird better at than LeBron? They would tell you pretty much everything.
Hold on, is he ahead of Larry Bird?
No.
No. What was Bird better at?
Bird's a better shooter. It's not close. I think Bird is as good or better as a passer. A much more fluid, much more natural passer than LeBron James. A creative.
Come on, are we actually doing this? Hold on. Larry Bird is a better passer than LeBron James, honestly. Even if they had the identical assist numbers, but his fluidness, seamless passing, unselfishness, which they both are. But Larry Bird's a better passer, also a better scorer.
Passer. LeBron James, for a superstar, he's as good a passer as anyone outside of maybe Magic and Bird. Bird was a better passer. Bird's a better rebounder. The fact is that Larry Bird didn't stay healthy, and the fact is that basketball is played so differently now. When it comes down to the end of a game in a championship series, I would rather have Larry Bird have the basketball.
Yes.
However, When Dennis Rodman, a 5-time NBA champion, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, and the best rebounder in NBA history heard that statement, he completely scoffed at the idea.
Do you agree or disagree?
Shall I leave? What? Okay, I'll put it this way. If Larry Bird played in this era, I think he'd be in Europe. So I'm just letting you know, man.
I don't know what he means by that. I don't know the context of what's running through his head, but I do agree. If Larry Bird was playing in the modern NBA, it won't go past 2 years. It won't go past 2 years, honestly. It won't go past 2 years. Because him from seeing it afar and then him actually experiencing the league, after that 1 year, he's going to play overseas, number one. Number two, Giannis, Luka, and the Joker said that the NBA is easier. Remember, those guys came from the Euro League, playing in Europe, where it's more competitive than I'd rather watch the Euro League than modern NBA. So, I don't know what context of which Dennis Rodman is speaking from, but I agree. If Larry Bird was playing in today's NBA, he wouldn't play for long. Come on, there's no competitiveness. It's too soft. Nah.
Really? Today's world? Oh, hell no. That's no way. No way.
I don't even know if that's a compliment or not, but let's continue.
Europe? Really? Now, why would Dennis Rodman say something like that about clearly an all-time great player? Because when he heard the name Larry Bird, he had flashbacks to the 80s when he was a bad boy Piston, and Larry Bird and the Celtics were his biggest nemesis.
Of course, Bird is very upset at Lambier and has been for a long time. Now Rodman goes after Bird threw the ball.
Rodman, for some reason, maybe because Bird was beating him, he don't like Larry Bird.
Dennis Rodman in a collision with Larry Bird.
I remember when he made those statements? He's overrated. Oh, man. I'm thinking that when somebody is jealous and bitter, they hold on to like that grudge. And it looks like Dennis Rodman has been holding on to this grudge for a very long time, especially speaking that Larry Bird's overrated. He probably was getting cooked so bad that he never forgot it. Every time the name Larry Bird comes up, it's like PTSD for him.
As the shot goes up, check the battle out underneath. A headbutt, double arm wraparound, and a takedown trip by Dennis Rodman.
We know how Dennis Rodman is too. He's that irritant. Like he's the type of player that do his absolute best to get under your skin.
To Larry Bird.
And it all started when the Pistons faced the Celtics in the 1987 Eastern Conference Finals, where a rookie Dennis Rodman was in charge of guarding Larry Bird.
Right here, Rodman makes a rookie mistake. When he hears the whistle, he should have grabbed him. He let him finish the shot. And when you hear that whistle, Bob, you got to grab him. You can't let him get three.
I think it was
5 fouls?
86, 87. So we were playing Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. So they gave me the task of guarding Larry Bird.
Okay.
Larry Bird, I'm like this 25-year-old rookie in the league. They said, Dennis, you have to guard him. So I'm guarding him. And every time I turn my head, he's over there in the 3-point line.
25-year-old rookie. Damn. At what age were the players coming into the league? 25-year-old rookie. Was that accurate?
He said, I'm over here, Rook. I'm like,
Two shot blockers, Rodman and Sally. Bird for three.
Cooking.
Well, Rodman took a nap that time.
I'm over here, rookie.
Run out there like a dumbass. Let's go out there, try to contest him. He hit the three. I'm like, okay.
And in Game 5, with the series tied 2-2, the game goes down to the wire. And Isaiah Thomas hits what he thinks is the game-winning shot.
Out on the top of the floor against Houston.
16 seconds. Seasting right in his face. Thomas with a very big bucket. And it's Detroit by 1, 17 seconds. So Boston goes for the final shot.
And all the Pistons have to do is make one defensive stop and they win the game. Just 1 year earlier, before Dennis Rodman had arrived, Larry Bird would have a field day on the Detroit Pistons front line.
Now, our back line at one time, it was Kelly Tripucka, Bill Laimbeer, Ken Benson. 3 white dudes.
Hey, Kent Benson. We remember the Kent Benson story. Man, he gave him a rough time over at Indiana University.
Okay. All right. So we walk out on the court, and he said, "Who guarding me?" And I was like, I got Kelly.
Cook. Kelly Tripucka cannot do too much with Larry Bird.
Got Lamb.
Can't guard him.
Bird, baseline move.
Can't guard him.
No trouble, right around Bill Laimbeer. No way he could stay with him.
I got Benson.
Out to Ainge. Bird has beat them all down the floor. Benson and Bird. Yes.
He's like,
this guy is an absolute animal. Like Larry Bird in the modern NBA, they would have to ban him. They would have to ban like Larry Bird. Like legit. His trash talking. I don't know who in the modern NBA could combat trash talking Larry Bird, Oh. That Benson story was funny though. When Bird got his revenge against him. That's funny.
"You ain't got no brothers?" He said, "Hey man, you can't put no white dude on me.
Hey,
that is straight disrespect." So check this out. So the next year we come back, I said, "I got somebody for your ass, right?"
Yeah.
He said, "Who you got?" I said, "Rodman."
Isaiah Thomas should have never said that. Talking about you got somebody to guard Bird. Of course, Bird is gonna take it personal. And guess what? I need to see the footages. I may be seeing it in this video. But Isaiah Thomas putting Rodman in that position? Oh, that's no good. That's no good. Bird is gonna cook.
And in the final moments of Game 5, Dennis Rodman showed up and made the greatest defensive play in the game.
We go to the timeout. We know Bird's going to get it either on the left side or the right side. And we got the play figured out. We send him left. About 5 of us come over there to try to block the shot.
There's Bird with the ball against Mahorn.
He'll take it to the hoop. You can bet. He's going to try to draw a foul.
It's blocked. And Seasting hit it off of a Detroit player. No.
But this great defensive play was quickly forgotten because Rodman ended up on the wrong side of one of the greatest plays of Larry Bird's career.
And Seasting hit it off of a Detroit player. No.
Ball goes out of bounds, and
Oh my gosh. So it was a great defensive play. But they made a big mistake.
I'll never forget, everything just started, it went in slow motion.
Now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ. Right up, 1 second left. What a play by Bird.
I'm walking to the huddle, and as I come back out of the huddle, right, we try to take the ball out of bounds or whatever. Larry walks by and he goes, wow. Winks at me, right? I'm like,
And guess who thinks that their play was better than Larry Bird's?
That's a hell of a play by Larry Bird.
The hell of a play was when I blocked the shot.
No, okay, yeah.
You blocked the shot. Yes. But remember, what was the last play of the game? Larry Bird got the last laugh, guys. Larry Bird got the last laugh because he stole the ball, the inbound, passed it to DJ. DJ laid it in. Boston ended up winning the game. It's all about the last, not before. You did do a good block before then, Dennis Rodman. But that was not the last. Bird had the last laugh. Come on, man. Come on, Rodman. Don't be delusional.
All right.
I blocked the shot.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's the first play.
That's the first play. That set up the greatness for Larry Bird.
And if you see that play at the end, and when they scored the basket,
yeah.
If you see Isaiah Thomas one outside out of bounds, guess who he's looking at? I'm by myself underneath the basket. I'm by myself underneath the basket right there. He was going to throw it to me. So it could have been a different story.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, but it.
Big facts. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. You was under the basket. We understand that. But what happened when you was under the basket? If the ball was gonna come to you, right? Isaiah Thomas was gonna inbound it back, but Larry Bird stole the ball, passed it to DJ. DJ laid it in. Game was over.
Wasn't. And in Game 7, Larry Bird carries the Celtics to a win with 37 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists, and a random left-handed shot on none other than Dennis Rodman, just because he was bored.
One of the great fourth quarters in NBA playoff history, Game 7 against Detroit in 1987. Larry Bird suddenly, for no explicable reason, decided to bank in a left-hand 15-footer.
For each side. 4:42 and running. Bird's left-hander goes. Get that one out of the book. I haven't seen that one in a long time.
And I can tell you, talking to Magic Johnson, and that the Lakers were watching that game. This guy just about fell off the chair, just laughing. And I asked him about it, which just because. He was amusing himself in a playoff game.
And from that point forward, Dennis Rodman never said another positive thing about Larry Bird again. In fact, after losing a grueling 7-game series, Dennis Rodman said one thing about Larry Bird that solidified just how much he was blinded by hatred.
It starts because an unsophisticated Dennis Rodman is asked about Larry Bird, and let's be real. It's probably the first time in Dennis Rodman's life that a white guy tuned him up on the basketball court.
Dennis Rodman just went to Larry Bird University.
So after the game, I said, that's the question. How do you think? What do you think about Larry Bird? Please don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted when I'm gonna say this, because I actually said this. I know what I was saying because I was so young and stupid. And I said, if he was black, he'd be just an average basketball player.
Yeah, you got a lot of flack for that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You got a lot of flack.
Like it was yesterday.
I'm just saying that's actually what I said back then.
And was immediately forced to apologize. Keyword, forced. Rodman's PR agent, Billy Diamond, called him and said, "Do you actually believe that?" "Yeah," Rodman said. "Are you crazy? The guy is one of the top players ever to play in the league." "Well, Isaiah said it too." "Who gives a He sounds just as dumb as you. You're going to issue an apology now. We're going to release a statement." "No, I'm not," Rodman said. "Yes, you are. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you."
We all know who Rodman is and was. And Rodman, still today, you put a mic in front of him, you don't know, right? That's just, unfortunately, that's how it was with him, right? So my job as captain is let me try to help and protect.
Dennis Rodman said, if Larry Bird was a black guy, he'd just be another black guy.
Oh, Dennis said it.
Right.
Dennis
and then they run over to Isaiah. They go, Dennis just said, if Larry Bird was, and Isaiah said, I guess he's right? Like, it's a sensational thing that he's a white guy and he plays this well. Because, it's, the league is full of, black people.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very good basketball player. I think he's an exceptional talent. But I'd have to agree with Rodman. If he was black, he'd be just another good guy.
He wasn't saying anything.
So he wasn't nothing malicious.
It wasn't a diss. No.
It's the truth.
So they kind of put it in a way, there was no way for Isaiah to get out of it, except, man, leave me alone, man. I got to take a shower. But he couldn't do that.
So he got the bad rap for something. He just, like you said, there was no malicious intent behind it.
None. Larry Bird and Isaiah are cool. And they did a press conference right after that.
Oh, good.
If the statements or whatever was said doesn't bother me, I don't think it should bother any of us. But if Isaiah tells me that it was a joking matter, I think we should leave it at that.
Now, I know Larry Bird said that Dennis Rodman and Isaiah Thomas's comments didn't bother him, But the next time they played at the Boston Garden, it looked like Larry Bird had something to prove, because even in severe pain all through the 1988 season, where Larry Bird developed bone spurs in both feet that required surgery and caused him to miss an entire year of basketball,
The pain was just too much.
Larry Bird mustered up enough strength to school Dennis Rodman one last time. But this time, it was personal.
They clear the zone. It's Bird one-on-one with Rodman. Bird
Oh my God. Ooh, and one. Ooh, getting cooked.
Dominique Wilkins had the greatest quote anybody's ever had about Larry Bird. He said, when you're playing against him, you're looking into the eyes of an assassin. Good team. Larry Bird in the lane with the left hand again. Bird with the left hand. Amazing. Well, again,
Oh, fade on. Oh.
Rodman did all you can legally do.
Dennis Rodman said, "I would be all over him, trying to deny him the ball, and all Larry was doing was yelling at his teammates. I'm open. Hurry up before they notice nobody's guarding me."
In the middle so much and try to find Larry Bird.
Hey.
Ainge finds him in
Three.
country. Good job by Ainge. Bird has 16.
Coach, you better get this guy out and send in somebody who's going to D me up, because it's too easy when I'm wide open like this.
About 20 feet away from the hoop.
He's cooking.
Bird shoots the J. Yes. He's got 29. Gilmore sets the pick. Now it resolved. Bird one-on-one with Rodman.
And one. Good.
32 for Bird. Detroit calls timeout. Dominique Wilkins said it, when you look into Larry Bird's eyes during a game.
And he fouls out. So he's guarding Larry Bird. Fouls out. And Larry Bird drops 32 on you.
You're looking into the eyes of an assassin.
I would understand if he did a great defensive job, held them to under 20 points, but he had 32 on you. Come on.
And he may have just squeezed off the final round against Detroit, Steve Jones, at least in this case.
When you get embarrassed like that, while being trash talked before and after every bucket, I guess you just never get over it.
Boston 121, Detroit 110. Still not since December 19th, 1982, has Detroit won a game in the Boston Garden. They've lost 20 in a row.
So yeah, Dennis Rodman's judgment might be a little cloudy when it comes to Larry Bird. He even said that Larry Bird should not even be on the dream team because he was old and washed up. But when the word got out that Dennis Rodman said Larry Bird would be in Europe if he played today, the rest of the basketball world went crazy.
Rodman is way off on this.
You know, I respect Dennis. A lot of respect Dennis. Know Dennis well. He's a good dude, but that's delusional.
Dennis Rodman said some wild things. This is absolutely absurd.
I think he is out of his mind.
Based on those comments and the recent comments of Scottie Pippen, I'm going, man, those parties the Chicago Bulls were having back in the 90s were even better than I thought they were.
They took a toll.
So
Larry Bird could play in any era and do the same thing he did in our era. It couldn't handle him. Today's players could not handle him, period.
It's undeniable how dumb this is. It just shows a total lack of understanding of Bird's basketball acumen, IQ, passing ability, and one of the best rebounding forwards ever, was the best shooter of his generation, and one could argue, with the emphasis on three-point shooting, that Bird would be a more dominant offensive player. And this is how Bird's first 9 years before his back went out, how he finished in MVP voting. Fourth, second, first, third, second. Larry.
Hold on, guys. We have the receipts. Bro, before his back went out, legit could have won He had 3 back to back, right? It's right here, right? Dang. Easily could have won in these years. Easily could have won here. He would have had at least 5, 6 MVP awards. That's how impactful and dominant he is. Dang.
Bird would be able to play in any era. So, of course, he wouldn't be playing in Europe, and of course, it's a ridiculous.
He would be playing in Europe. Guys, let's be honest. This is the thing. This is the thing. They're not being honest about the state of the modern basketball. He would be playing, and so again, I know how crazy his statements are, Dennis Rodman, but honestly, he would be playing in Europe. He One season of the NBA would be enough. If Larry Bird was to be drafted and the modern NBA, one season, okay, all right, hypothetically, he goes past the one season. He's still going to be dominant. As they said, he'll be dominant in any era you place him in. Facts. But realistically, he's not going to. Oh, it's not competitive enough for him. You be hearing the stories. He find ways within the game to make it challenging for him. Oh my gosh.
Opinion.
But to say that guy wouldn't be able to play today?
Well, here's how
That's
good
just
Larry-
hate. That's just hatred.
That's like when he said that shit back when the Pistons was playing the Celtics.
Yeah, I actually
And
brought
he
that
said
up.
that thing
And
about
he,
Larry.
he even said,
Come
well,
on.
I didn't really, he said I was young and just talking my shit.
Well, he's old me still talking his shit. And it's still just as stupid.
Larry Bird has been living rent-free in Dennis Rodman's head for decades, and when Dennis Rodman was recently asked if he stands by his comment that Larry Bird would be average if he was black, he gave this half-hearted apology.
I was just saying anything, man, just because, you know what, I would just wonder why this guy's so good. I was frustrated because guess what? I got my ass whooped by this kid. You know, so that's why I probably said something like that, not because I was angry or hatred or something. No, it just came out like that. I apologize that many, many times over, but that's history. You know, gotta move on.
Yeah, I know a hater when I see one.
Why do you think people hate on Larry Bird?
He's white.
He's white.
I think most true fans of basketball, especially blacks included, they know the deal. You know, the people that are hating on Larry Bird are simply haters because there's no way if you know anything about that man's criteria, his record, his skill. Come on, man. There's always one. You know, hating on him is like hating on Eminem. You know, they're one and the same. Official team.
Gary Payton, a top.
Hold on. Hey man, that video was crazy. That video was big time. It was big time crazy. Dennis Rodman is known for making these crazy statements, but whoa. I believe him. I believe him when he say he'd be in Europe. If Dennis Rodman is saying it in a disrespectful way, then hey. But honestly, I believe he'll be playing in Europe because today's NBA. This is what I was saying. They're not being honest. He will dominate modern NBA, but how long would it be before he retires and he plays in another league, like the Europe League? That's what I'm wondering. Why are these people are just not making a statement like, "Hey, today's game is not the same as what it was. Not competitive." Larry Bird will actually do fine. He'll create challenges within the game to make it fun for him. But as far as playing the game of basketball nowadays, he would be in Europe. Let me know your thoughts down below. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new for old school content. See you on the next one.